What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is Renebean. Welcome to another episode of Live Video Game Hunting, the series where I take you along for the ride and show you these pickups through yard sales and garage sales. I go to flea markets, I hit up thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army, as well as your mom and pop stores. I use apps like LetGo, OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook, whatever I can use to get my hands on awesome games for an excellent price. You get to see it. Obviously, stick through to the end of the video because not only do I go over everything on a one-on-one level as well as anything you did not see on camera, but I also announce the winner to the contest giveaway. If you want to be entered, the rules could not be simpler. Obviously, be subscribed to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and leave a comment down below. Hopefully something positive. If you want some extra credit, share these videos. There is nothing more supportive to me than someone who shares these videos, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, doesn't matter. Links to everything in the description below. eBay store, Macari account, Twitch, P.O. Box information, it's all in the description. I'm super excited, guys. Yet again, I got boxes and totes of just stuff to go through. The season is finally here, and it is strong. So I want you to sit back and relax. Let's shekel up. Alright everybody, welcome to another episode. As always, I'm so excited to be able to bring you this content because the season has finally started up. If you guys out there have had some awesome finds, let me know in the comments down below. Even if it's not so great of a find, let me know because I always love hearing what you guys get. So anyways, these first few finds here are going to be through the eyes of Miss Renebean. Now, a disclaimer warning for this video is you will see a few toy finds. I just couldn't help it. They are in the footage. As you saw, she picked up all those wrestling action figures. I think she paid $2 for all those altogether. This guy brings out a huge box of Xbox games, and you'll see that there's also some PlayStation games mixed in. I don't know what it is, but Miss Renebean is the queen of finding games that are only $1. I don't know how she does it. She has better luck with that than I do. And it breaks my heart watching this footage and doing this narration because I see all the stuff that she leaves behind. But I love her to death. She knows a good bit. She still doesn't know everything. Hell, I don't know everything. I miss a lot of things myself. You guys definitely let me know when I do. But she does pick out some really good titles here you're going to see. So before all you guys out there, leave the comment down below. You missed this, you missed this. A lot of this I do know. Again, this is through the eyes of my wife doing the hunting, which I'm very grateful she goes out with me and does this. Typically, we'll divide up routes. She'll go to one side of the city, I'll go to the other. That way we don't hit up the same sales. And she does well enough. Like I said, she's gotten some amazing titles before, some rare consoles. But like anybody, we all miss things, and she definitely missed a few gems here. But you know what? It's a good learning experience, not only for you guys out there, but for her, because we watch these videos too, and I go over with her everything that she's missing. Now, this first game you see for the PlayStation 1 was Cubert. It actually did not have the game in there. It had a Medal of Honor game, so she does leave it behind. And sadly, for whatever reason, she did not get Spyro. Maybe just because it didn't have the manual, but disc alone, that game has gone up in price, so definitely keep an eye out for it, whether it's Black Label or the Greatest Hits, it doesn't matter. But she did leave that one behind, sadly. But she also gets Gex. There's a handful of other good PlayStation games that she gets. Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. I don't know if you really get to see it here, but she picked up that one. I did not have that for the collection. And at $1 a piece, those are just excellent deals. Now, usually whenever I'm out in the wild and I see someone with a box of games like this and they only want $1 a piece, depending on the titles, which a lot of these were decent, I would have just offered $20 for the whole box. They only want $1 per game. Who knows, there could be 30 or 40 games in there. People will typically bite on that, even though you're not getting, a bunch of heavy hitter titles. You're still getting a bunch of solid titles that you can use to bundle with later. And a lot of you guys out there know that I like to have bundled games, bundler games whenever I sell my consoles. That way, it just makes them look prettier. It's easier to sell a 360 with, GTA, San Andreas, and, GTA 5 and a bunch of other games when you have them with it versus just the bare console. Even though they're not, the most high-end games, they're still great games to have to bundle with the system. And of course, whenever you end up with a box of games like that, just a surplus of filler titles, you know, you end up with a lot of sports, a lot of games that just aren't worth much by themselves. You can unload them, you know, a few different ways. One of the methods that I like to do is just put them in a huge lot, cover shipping costs, make the buyer pay that, and start the auction on 99 cents. If it sells for 10 or 20 bucks, great. If not, you're just going to end up with a shelf just full of filler items, which I have done before, as a lot of you guys know, and it's a pain to unload all that stuff at once, but for me, if you can get it under control, it's not too bad. But you end up getting a whole lot of games that you can either bundle or you can put in your own collection for a really good price, which is not a bad way of doing it at all. So one thing you're going to see Miss Renebean do here when she picks up these PlayStation 1 games, open them up and check the disc, you know, which you should be doing anyways, because, you know, a game that's terribly scratched, you don't have a resurfacer, you know, you're most likely not going to get it to work anyways. But she's holding it to the light, you know, especially with these PlayStation 1 games. If you see any light, you know, coming through that disc, good chances it's starting to get that disc rot, and it's something you definitely do not want and want to avoid unless it's just a crazy high-end title. Here you see her pick up Crash Bandicoot 2 for the PlayStation 1, again, for $1 a piece. These are excellent games to pick up. This one had Medal of Honor in it, and it did not have Q*bert, so she left that one behind. So here you actually do get to see Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. Like I said, this is one that I do not have in my collection, and she surprises me all the damn time when it comes to adding stuff to my collection, which is getting harder and harder to do as I progress through my collecting life. And this one was in excellent shape. You know, you see this all the time with PlayStation 1 double disc games or 3-disc games where they fall apart in there. It's just a bad design on them. But man, to see her set that Spyro down, and even that Harry Potter, I think I sold that same game, that Harry Potter game, for 10 or 12 bucks, maybe last week. So these are just things that I can discuss with her, and then that you guys can look out for as well. She also gets this Steelbook edition of Sniper 2. Again, it was in excellent condition, and another one that I did not have for the collection. I don't know how she does it, but I'm not going to stop her. Now, the best title that you're going to see Miss Renebean get, she gets right here, and it's one that everybody should always be on the lookout for, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. This one happened to be complete in box, but now as you're going to see when she opens up the case, there's no manual. Some of you guys out there with them sharp eyes probably saw earlier in the footage the actual manual of this game, and you're going to see her going over here hunting for it because she knows to be on the lookout for that game. With this one, Black Label complete, it can go $30 to $40. That price always fluctuates, but it stays, you know, within those boundaries, especially if you compare it with, you know, Battlefront 1. Now, the PlayStation 2 version does not go for as much as the original Xbox, but regardless of the platform, it's always worth picking them up, especially when you're getting them cheap. And God, just to see that Spyro sitting there, I want to reach through the camera as I'm doing this narration and just grab it up. And now she knows, and like I said, we always miss things, but always be on the lookout for your Battlefront games. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, doesn't matter for PlayStation 2 or original Xbox, but pick them up when you can. They are always a very quick, easy flip. And it doesn't surprise me at all that these Spyro games are going up in price, considering they are doing a HD remaster, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Shenmue 1 and 2. They've officially announced that they're going to do a remaster of those, and it makes me wonder what the price of those games are going to do. You know, sometimes whenever you release a re-release of games, the price can make, you know, they can make these prices go down on them. In Spyro's case, it's going back up. Maybe people can't wait and they want to play it again. They want to relive their childhood and not wait for the remaster. But sometimes, you know, it can make the price dramatically drop. I've seen it both ways. It can either go up or down. So this is the last sale you're going to see through Miss Renebean. The next are Through My Eyes. And for whatever reason, she gets some amazing deals sometimes on things that I never get these types of deals. And the first thing you see her pick up here is this Star Wars Battlefront poster. She only paid $1 for that. That's like her staple price for almost anything. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you got this at GameStop and you pre-ordered Battlefront. I could be completely wrong on that. I'm not the biggest collector of anything Star Wars unless it's gaming related, as far as, you know, the actual games themselves. But the figures, things like that, I typically don't hold on to. So we ended up giving this to a friend of ours. So for $1 for her first pickup, not bad at all. But this is the deal that I'm talking about. I don't know how she finds these things. Typically when I find them, like, my solid price that I usually end up getting them for is like $10. I have gotten Wii's for $5. Hell, I even think I paid $3 for one. She picks this one up right here, only pays $5 for it. Has everything included. Doesn't have an actual nunchuck that goes into the Wiimote, and it's just a standard Wiimote. It's not a Motion Plus, again, which is something everybody needs to be on the lookout for. But for $5 to get a complete working Wii, and it is the backwards compatible one, meaning that it works with GameCube games. Now, another bit of advice, I don't believe she did in this situation, but whenever someone has a backwards compatible Wii, if you ask them if they have any other games, make sure you emphasize GameCube games, because that's something they don't remember to bring out whenever they bring the console out. Now, unfortunately, there were no games to go with this, but again, $5, an excellent pickup. And I'm telling you, I have had situations where I've been at yard sales and I see a huge stack of Wii games right next to a GameCube compatible Wii, but I see no GameCube games. And the second that I ask them, I'm like, well, you know, this thing plays GameCube games. Did you happen to have any of those to go with this? And I'm telling you, their response is always the same. They either tell you no immediately, or, oh man, I forgot that that thing played GameCube games. I believe I have a couple. And they can pull out some amazing titles that you wouldn't even have gotten had you not asked in the first place. Alright, so this next find right here, I'm going to tell you there is a huge toy score right here. And I wanted to include this for one of two reasons. Actually, three reasons. Number one, I love it when you guys tell me everything that I missed, because I don't really know that much about toys. It was never my biggest strong suit. I don't collect toys. I was always a video game focused person growing up. And I remember the last time I had a huge toy score, you guys let me know all the things that I missed, and I'm kind of looking forward to that in this pickup right here, because they're going to have a sale again next week, and I want to come back prepared. Secondly, I wanted to put this into the shot because, well, it does lead to an actual video game find, a few things. And thirdly, I wanted to put this in here for the simple fact that I remember someone left a comment last time and said, you don't normally get that lucky finding that many sealed games. Well, looks like we got lucky again, so these things are out there as long as you keep hunting. Now, I will say, to the credit of the person that left that comment, I'm at the same place I got that huge score last time. The only difference is they opened up the doors and let people look inside. I don't know if this is just an old hoarder's house who maybe have passed away and they're trying to sell everything, but it doesn't matter. This was a picker's dream in this house. There is so much stuff, and I wish I had more time to go through everything. Right here, you can see all these toys right here, all sealed from the 80s. I am digging. I am hunting. This is when I am in my peak happiness right here, when I can just start looking. And I don't know anything about toys. I didn't know anything about these, but I knew that I was going to get them cheap, and even if they're only worth $10 a piece, which it turns out a lot of these weren't, they're a lot more than that. And I'm telling you guys, do not be shy. Let me know if there is something, even if it's not toy related, in this house, because there is so much vintage stuff in this house. Like, I mean, I wanted to include a lot of footage because I'm sure there is stuff that I left behind because I just don't know about it. And that's one thing that I love about me putting out these videos is, you know, some people may look at it as being dickish, telling me the things that I'm missing, but hell, I look at it like a learning opportunity. These people are going to have another sale next week, and like I said, I want to come back fully prepared with a pocket full of cash ready to buy. So whenever I'm in a situation like this, and, you know, like I told you countless times already, I don't know much about toys and these types of things, I'm very hesitant on what I buy simply because it's all risk for me anyways. This was a neat little find right here, an original Treasure Trolls sealed in the box. Apparently goes for 20 or 30 bucks. Now I will tell you, all the actual figures that you see me pick up, all the sealed toys, I paid $15 for everything. Turns out it was an excellent deal. I picked up these 3 Demolition Man sets right here. Had Sylvester Stallone being the main one, obviously, and I thought that was very awesome. I don't collect toys, so all this stuff is up for grabs. Hit me up on Instagram. I believe someone already did while I'm editing this, asking about those Demolition Man figures, but everything's going to be up for grabs. But this stuff is just amazing right here. And keep in mind, I spent probably 45 minutes at this house. It was an upstairs, a downstairs, and in the main floor. And there is just stuff everywhere. I did leave that. I didn't know what the hell it was. Same with this one right here. It looked like a dollar store item to me, which there was a bunch of that stuff mixed in. But I did leave those. There was also a bunch of NASCAR stuff, which I am completely oblivious to any of that stuff. Now, I know some of you out there are already thinking, well, why didn't you just look any of this up while you were there? I couldn't really do that. This lady was checking on me every so often, coming in the room and just making sure that I'm not taking something or just disrespecting her house, which I wouldn't do. So I didn't want to be disrespectful in the actual way of looking stuff up while I'm there, trying to buy things. I'm just going to go out on a whim and pick up things that I feel were decent deals. And as I was actually sitting here doing this narration, looking at this Munkin new figure right here, I didn't pick up, there was a bunch of them in there, all sealed, of course. I'm definitely going to be picking those up next week at that sale. There was one listed, I think, for like $35 or $36. I will undercut the hell out of that, $20, $25, and hopefully it'll get gone. These action figures in here, stuff like this, man, I don't know anything about this. That's why I'm hoping some of you guys out there say, hey, you missed this thing. It just so happens to be, $5 million. And when I go back next week, I'm hoping that I'm going to have a lot more time to actually dig into these boxes, because keep in mind, like I said, I was here for 45 minutes, but I had other sales to get to, and we had prior engagements, so my time is definitely of the essence, and I didn't have as much time as I wanted to really dig into this house. Now here you're actually going to see the video game finds that I was talking to you about, and this is in the same house. And I remember last year asking them if they had anything video game or related, and they said probably in the house, but they didn't really seem interested in actually going in and finding this stuff. But you'll see right here, we got a complete inbox Odyssey 2, and it was actually in really damn good shape. This box right here, I was hoping would have some games in it. I figured everything would kind of be clustered together, but it did not. And I don't remember if that Odyssey actually came with a game or not. It was in really damn good shape, though. It had the styrofoam, everything was put in there nicely. The console was in great shape, and the box was in really good condition. As I'm trying to find a place to look at it, that's when I discovered this NES, and I was like, well, let me just set this Odyssey back down and look at this damn NES on the table, because that's got my interest a lot more than the Odyssey does. Now, this console's dirty like they normally are, because I'm telling you, these things have been sitting for 30 years, so you're going to find them usually not in the best shape. And I always think of it like the lottery, like what game comes inside of it. This one had a copy of Rampage, which is the first find for me to be in an NES console. I found the game many times, but never in the console. Typically, it's like Mario 3 or something. This is when I had the chance to look at this Odyssey 2, and I'm telling you, it was in very beautiful condition. Now, the funny thing about the Odyssey 2 is I actually had one complete in box, and I almost had the entire library of games complete in box. But I sold it all off for one big reason, really, and that was the box for the Odyssey that I had was in such terrible shape. It just looked terrible, and I just wanted it gone. And I was only lacking, I think, 4 games to have a complete library of the Odyssey 2. I'm on the fence now if I'm going to get rid of this Odyssey 2 or keep it. I'm leaning more towards getting rid of it, but man, it would look nice, somewhere in the living room. I don't know if I'd have room in the game room. So coming out of here, this lady is difficult to haggle with, man. She's awesome and she's friendly, but man, she does not like coming down on prices at all. Trust me, it was difficult to get those toys for 15. I think she wanted 18 originally, and I talked her down from that to 15. So I asked her how much did she want for, this Odyssey 2 and the NES. I had 2 controllers and a zapper and that copy of Rampage. No other cords with it, which is unfortunate because I always need those power packs with them. Now, you don't see it here, but whenever I did talk to her about this price, and I was like, how much do you want for all this? It was the Complete Box Odyssey. The NES had a copy of Rampage, 2 controllers, and a zapper. The Odyssey Complete, the NES was missing the power cord, which is bad because I'm always on the lookout for those, but luckily I do have some spares. And she says, I got to go ask my husband, but I don't think she actually did. I think she went over there to maybe look up something on her phone. Because it turns out later when the husband is around and I actually came back with my rebuttal, the price that I was going to offer, he was like, what are y'all talking about? He had no idea about it, so I thought it was kind of funny. But she comes at me and she says $80. Now, the Odyssey 2, while, being an awesome system and a staple in history, is not something that I'm eagerly after. It's not going to break my heart if I don't get this. Like I said, I'm most likely going to get rid of it anyway. And the NES, I like to refurbish up and make sure I have consoles, because I know a lot of you guys out there like buying them off of me. So the way I figured it is, as long as I'm getting this NES console and this Odyssey 2 for what I can make back from just the NES, I'd be happy with it. So I offered her $50. I said, if you take 50, I'm all in. And that's when the husband was like, what are y'all talking about? And I guess her little plan kind of fooled. She wanted this stuff gone. And the husband was really awesome to deal with. He was a very easygoing guy. We settled on $60, so $60 complete in box Odyssey and that NES was a pretty decent deal. So this sale right here is why you always ask if they have any games that they're looking to get rid of. And this guy told me he had some N64 stuff that he wanted to hang on to. And I came back and said, well, do you have anything you're not playing or would like to get rid of? I can always make you an offer. And he comes out with 5 games, 2 of which I did not have. And he's got some pretty good titles here. Now, the one game I was extremely excited to finally get was Cruis'n Exotica. I had Worlds and I got USA, but that's one that I needed and been looking for a while. There was also Kirby in here. There was Gex. There was Rampage. Rampage 2 I did not have, so that's another one I get to add to the collection. He said 25 for all. I offered him 20, and he took it. So $20 for all these games. Kirby will make that back alone right there. And what was funny is that they weren't even having an actual sale at that time. Apparently, we were just driving by. I saw them set up, and I was like, is it cool to look? Because their sale didn't start till 11 or 12, which is a terrible time to actually start a sale. But you know what? If they want to do that, by all means, let them. But again, people always ask if they got stuff, name a humongous list, and if they say they do but don't want to bring anything out, always say you'll make an offer, and you'd be surprised how many people go in and bring stuff out. So here we are at the final pickup of the week, and this was an awesome one. The person who ran the sale, he was a very friendly person. First thing you see right here are some plug and plays. I've been picking those things up lately. They're pretty easy flips. If I can get them for $1 or $2, you know, you can usually get 10, 15 bucks, sometimes more, just depending on the actual unit itself. This one right here, being a Frogger unit, I asked him how much he wanted, and he said $1. Turns out this was like the dollar man right here. Everything I picked up was $1. Now you're only going to see me pick up 3 items here, and I actually paid $5 for everything altogether. $1 for this item right here, and then as we move over here, after asking him if he's got anything retro, and he says, well, I got this copy of E.T. for the 2600, and I knew he would have taken $1 on that, but I was not interested. I got the game complete. It doesn't go for much by itself. But I did see this collector's edition box for Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox 360. Now, this thing is completely empty. It's got the main box in there, which he tells me, he's like, open it up, that thing looks really good, too. But I got this purely as a display piece. That was the first time I ever played GTA 5. Was when it came out on 360 before the Xbox One was even a thing, and I had such a blast playing it, as a lot of you have. It was, you know, truly a very good Grand Theft Auto game. And this box just looked very awesome. And I asked him how much he wanted. He said $1. That's buy-in for me. Hell, I would have been probably willing to pay $2 or $3 for it. And you see me pointing over there. There was this Batman lunchbox, which you'll probably see in the end pickups. He wanted $5 for that. I offered him $3. I settled on $5 for the plug and play, that Grand Theft Auto box, and that Batman lunchbox, which was awesome. So for the final pickup of the week, I was pretty happy about it. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed all that awesome live footage. Just like always, we're going to go through everything here. If I can remember anything about it, I'll tell you. If not, we're just going to kind of zoom through it because it's never in any particular order. First up, let's go with Miss Renebean's finds right here. Actually, believe it or not, she got this stuff like last week, but I forgot to include it in the last video because I couldn't find where she put that stuff, so I was just like, well, hell, we'll put it in this video. So, I don't even remember all of what she picked up. She's like the queen of dollar games. I know she paid $3 or $4 for this. This was just something for me, which is the CKY box set, DVD. You know, CKY2K and all that just awesome stuff. It's like pre-Jackass. You know, a lot of people my age will know what I'm talking about. Funny stuff. Now, for the games, she picked this up for $1. It's one that I didn't have, which is Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. Very awesome. And when she called me and said she picked a Star Wars game up, I thought she was talking about like the PlayStation 2 Star Wars, but this one's complete. Looks good, too. So, $1 for that. Excellent. And this is something else I didn't realize she picked up. For $1, she got Sniper 2 Steelbook Edition. Very nice. Does that come with any goodies? It's got the double disc. Very awesome for this. She got stuff I didn't even realize she had. And then she paid $1 for this. Where the hell is she getting these damn games for $1? Star Wars Battlefront 2. Come on. That's an excellent steal. That's like a $30, $40 game. Good job, Miss Renebean. What else she got in here? God damn it, she got other shit. Or did I get... No, she got this. How the hell is she finding this stuff? She didn't tell me this. Gex for the PlayStation 1. Very awesome. And then also Crash Bandicoot 2 Black Label. Missing the holographic, but I actually think I got one listed with just the holographic. Disc is... that's gonna need a touching up. But for $1 a piece on these games, guys, I don't know how she does it. And she's got a bunch of damn action figures in here. I don't know anything about action figures. A 10-cent coffee cup. Ooh, the Today Show. I sell every damn thing. People know that. I don't know if y'all want to see all these action figures or not. I'll just kind of zoom through them. I don't know what the hell they are. Maybe you guys out there know. I am assuming she probably paid like $2 or $3 for this whole bag. They look like wrestling figures. I think that's what they are. I don't know. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. That's not really what this show's about. But we do got some toys I want to show you. So interesting on those. And she was getting. God damn, that's heavy. She was getting some deals. She paid $5 for a Wii. Has everything with it. A remote. It's the backwards compatible GameCube version. Has the manual. Always be on the lookout for your Haynes manuals now, and I'm not talking about that for the Wii, but your Haynes manuals, I pick them up for $1. They can go for, you know, 15, 20 bucks. She's got some Vans in here. She didn't separate everything, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you about all the other stuff that we picked up. Vans, those are good looking Vans too. Alright, let's get into the stuff that you guys probably care about most, which is the games. And this toy lot, as you saw, was awesome because these people set up last year, and if you guys remember, I had an amazing toy pick up there. It was all sealed toys from the 80s and 90s. And this year they had another sale, and they let you go inside the house, and I found some more stuff. So for $15, I'm going to show you all the toys that I picked up first, and then we'll get into the actual games because I did get games there. So we got, it's a bunch of Marvel superheroes Secret Wars. Very awesome. I don't collect toys, but I know a lot of you guys out there do, and I couldn't pass these up for $15. Let me set these off where they're not going to get crunched. They had all, I took a chance on these. These are all the Demolition Man. I think I got one more in there somewhere. But yeah, those are like, I mean, it's sealed toys. I'm getting them cheap, so it doesn't matter. Secret Wars, that one's got a little floppy label. This one, I was actually super surprised on what this thing is actually going for. It's going for like damn 80 or 90 bucks. Venom's Revenge from the Mask. Very awesome. Still, and it's unpunched too, as I'm learning about sealed toys, unpunched, you know, if it doesn't have its little tab pulled out. We got a Sega Genesis controller, which I got there with the bundle of games that you'll see, or the systems. We got Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. Very cool. Which, well, I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Hell, it's one of them days. I'm still excited. I got so much work I gotta get done. Demolition Man, that was the third one right there. So I paid, oh, and then there was this, which is the original Trolls, Treasure Trolls right there, sealed. This thing looks like it was going for like 20 or 30 bucks, so I paid $15 for all those toys. Guys, you know that's unbelievable. That's an excellent steal. I couldn't pass it up. So while I was in there, I noticed in the bottom, I don't know how well the camera picked it up because I haven't done any of that part of the editing, and I saw this guy sticking right out. A complete in box Odyssey 2. And this thing looked in I didn't go through it while I was there like crazy, but it has everything. It has the styrofoam, and it looks in pretty damn good condition. See if I can get a better shot of that. And I almost had every single Odyssey game complete in box, and I sold that collection. The box was horrible. It looked terrible. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or get rid of it. If you new guys out there need it, shoot me an offer on Instagram and we'll go from there. But I paid $60 for this, as well as a NES, and it had two controllers, a zapper gun, and inside was Rampage. So the way I figure it, once this is refurbished, that's about what I paid for everything. So I got a free boxed Odyssey out of it, which the one that I sold with all the games, it was over 200 bucks. I don't know what just the console is going to go for complete. Maybe 100, 150. Who knows? So moving along. So I went to this one. We just passed it up. Apparently they didn't even start till 11. We got there at 9. I was just like, oh honey, there's a sale. Stop. Let me check it out. I didn't realize we were earlier. They haven't gone, but they were completely cool. Walked down there and I was like, you got any video games? I looked for old stuff, and the guy messed up and he said, I got some N64 stuff, but I'm not wanting to sell it. And that's when you always say, anything you don't want, bring it out and I'll make you an offer, man. That's like the classic CJR line right there. And it works, man. So he went inside and he picked up 5 games and he brought them out and he said, 25 bucks. I rebutted with 20. So for 20 bucks, I got these games right here, which is Automobila Lamborghini, Kirby, the Crystal Shard, probably about the best one in the bunch. Copy of Gex, very cool. Copy of Rampage 2, very awesome, which I can't remember if I have it or not. And then one that I know I don't have, which is Cruisin' Exotica. Very happy to get that one finally. So that was excellent for 20 bucks right there. I couldn't pass that up at all. Went to another sale, and he had a bunch of sports games. I mean, it was all PlayStation 2 stuff. But for $1 each, I was able to pick up Star Trek Encounters and Star Wars Battlefront 1. This one's a little scratched up. Not sure how well it's going to play, but I figure if it resurfaces and it plays, it's worth a buck. It's worth the risk. I'm not worried about it. He also had some plug-and-plays. He had this very cool Spider-Man plug-and-play, which I haven't seen this one, so I thought that was pretty unique. Only paid a buck for it. You'll see, or you already saw in the actual video, he had a PlayStation 1, but he wanted too damn much for it. He wanted like $7, complete with everything, a cord, a controller, all that. I only pay like $5. For the PlayStation 1 fat models, if it's a slim, I can pay a little bit more. And he also had this Activision plug-and-play right here. I mean, any of these plug-and-plays, as long as they work, they sell decently, and they sell fairly quick. 10, 15 bucks a piece. So if you're getting them cheap like I am, there's some room, there's some meat on the bone for it. And what was awesome is as I was leaving, actually you probably didn't see that footage because I don't think my glasses, I think they were jacked up at the time. So as I was walking back to the truck, he's like, hey, I got this thing for a Nintendo. It happens to be an N64 power pack. He did not want to budge on $4. I was like, man, take $3 for it, man. Give me a deal. But I did end up paying $4 because I always need these, and that's still a great deal. So that was cool when he came running back, telling me he had that right there. Before we get into the last finds, let me go ahead and announce the winner to this contest giveaway, so I don't forget. Hopefully we're not blocking all the footage here. So the winner to this contest is Jacob Preston. You have won. Hit me up on Instagram, $20 store credit. See a game for 20 bucks, get it for free. See one for 30, get it for 10. And it doesn't just apply to games. You can buy anything you want in my store, but you got to message me on Instagram first. Back to the pickups. We only got a few things left. And I don't want to rush this video, but at the same time, I got like 6 or 7 hours of editing because I got to do 2 videos today, and it's just, then I got everything else to do, so I'm always busy. So went to the final yard sale, and I saw this Batman lunchbox. My wife was like, oh God, get that lunchbox. So long story short, I paid $3 for that. I paid $5 for everything you're going to see. $3 for that lunchbox. $1 for this Frogger plug-and-play, which is really nice. I've never seen that one. And then this is awesome. People think I'm crazy. He thought I was crazy. I paid $1 for this. This is just the box, and it has the box inside. It doesn't have any of the game or anything, but $1. That is a beautiful display piece. That is the first time I got GTA 5 was on the 360 before the Xbox One came out. So this will look great in my living room. I paid $5 for all 3 of those items. It was excellent. I'm absolutely in love with the way this season is going because it's starting to take off. It's starting to get warm. It's starting to get beautiful. Sales are popping up. I think I had 60 or 70 listed this week. Next week I'm imagining 80 or 90, and then it's gonna get to its high point where you see like 150 sales listed each week. That's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this footage. If you did, hit that thumbs up and share these videos, guys. That is the big thing. That is the one thing to do that helps me out and is very supportive. But as always, guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.